Hey everyone, Coops here from the whole box and dice, and gee, it feels good to do this review without the horrible crackly voice that I had last time. This is Nissa, the Genesis Mage Planeswalker deck review, plus, like last time, the $10 budget upgrade. How can we make Nissa a little bit more competitive? Had an awesome time actually playing with this deck, so let's check what we're getting with the Genesis Mage. She costs 7, 5, and double green for a foil mythic rare. Comes out with 5 loyalty as well, so continuing the theme of super loyalty planeswalkers. +2 is untap 2 target creatures and up to 2 target lands. -3 is target creature gets +5/+5 until end of turn, and the -10 is look at the top 10 cards of your library. You may put any number of creature and or land cards from among them onto the battlefield and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So do like this Nissa. Plenty of good cards to complement her in the deck. And, I get why they picked Nissa. Having, like, Liliana, I don't think would have been very exciting. Would have liked to see Jace, but Jace is kind of like a control deck, and I don't think they want to teach new players control or mill. That'd be funny, a mill intro deck, Planeswalker deck. Looks like we've got the quick reference guide here. Speaking of mill decks, there was a couple of awesome ones that came out pretty early on. One of the guys here in Australia, Cheshire Plays Games, did a very funky mill deck, and I know they're trying to break Fraying Sanity in every which way possible, so definitely check out his YouTube channel, Cheshire Plays Games, for a funky mill deck. And a little poster of Nissa as well, just some more information about how to play Magic. And cool, just next steps, Deck Builder's Toolkit. But we're gonna skip the Deck Builder's Toolkit, and we're gonna just try and spend about $10 and make the deck a little bit better. So Reason to Believe looks like it's the first rare, and I'll crack this open. I'll organize it like last time because it's not in like the right way. It's super annoying. Like, why not just make all the creatures, even if like it was just like creatures and spells and lands, like even just the fact that the lands are not together does kind of my head in. But we'll make this all pretty. Start off with a couple of unsummons, nice little combat trick for one. Ambuscade's amazing. It's just a great. It's not a fight. It's a deal damage mechanic. Nissa's Encouragement is our tutor up Nissa. You also get a forest and one of our big 6/6 tramplers. Reason to Believe is the rare, and this is a great card. So scry 3 on Reason, and then you're looking for a creature because the Aftermath looks at the top card of your library, and you may put it on the battlefield if it's a creature. Spring to Mind is draw 2 cards with the Aftermath and ramp on the top of it. Bounty Deluxer is a great ramp piece that draws us a card every other turn, which is always solid. Feral Prowler, pretty vanilla, just a 2-mana 1/3, but does draw us a card when it dies, which is always nice. And this little bird is a great mana sink, the Hoopoe, Hoppow, however you want to pronounce it, 1/3 flyer. The Avid Reclaimer, 3 mana 2/2 that allows you to ramp, and you can also get life if you've got Nissa out on the battlefield. We've seen this cat before, no pun intended. Pouncing Cheetah, the Flash Cat from Armon Ket. Aerial Guide is super solid. It's an Arrow of Devastation, 2/2 flyer for 3 that allows to give something else evasion, which I love. You can one-shot someone definitely with that card and another card. Weaver of Currents is nice, bit of ramp. And Avon Reedstalker, the Flash Flyer. It's not too shabby at all. And this is the card that I was talking about. You can give it +5/+5 with Nissa, or go over the top with the Drake. It's a 6/6 for 6 with trample, plus we get a couple of Angler Drakes as well. When it enters the battlefield, you can return a creature to its owner's hand. It's flying, and these should just be the lands. So it looks like you've just got, woodland streams, forests, and then I imagine some islands later on as well. Yeah, looks about right. Cool. Okay, so just like last time, you've kind of seen where the deck's going. We're trying to ramp, we're trying to get Nissa out, trying to get our big 6/6s out, and we're trying to just absolutely smack some face. So, it's a very, very interesting deck and very, very different to Bolas. I think it's a good introduction, certainly to the idea of ramp. Kind of touches on mono green Stompy as well. Doesn't really use a whole lot of blue. Obviously, Unsummon is a neat little trick, but there's not a lot of counter magic in the deck. So in terms of like the strengths of the deck is pretty resilient. There's a lot of value for a creature just dying, whether it's Feral Prowler, nice to get some card draw, or if you're having some dead turns, the little 1/3 bird, the Hoopoe, as a mana sink. So that is certainly very, very nice in the deck. The 6/6s, the fact that you trample, the fact that you tutor them up and they have trample is just great. So you know you can get Nissa plus get one of these guys or girls. It can be either or. They're just angry 6/6 monsters. You get a land as well, which is awesome. So refills your hand. I guess where the deck has some issues is that you've got only a couple of unsummons and a couple of ambuscades. You need to have the big 6/6er out there to really make use of the ambuscade. You only get a couple of unsummons, so you don't have an infinite way of dealing with big threats that are on the other side of the board. And whilst you do get value with some stuff dying, or once you've used the ramp pieces, you don't need them anymore. You certainly don't want to just be burning them and having them eaten up every combat turn of your opponent. So you can gain a bit of life, which is nice. Definitely like that. Would have liked to see maybe Hour of Promise in the deck. I think that could have been a solid card to put in there. Reason to believe. No, it's a bad card. It's just I guess it fits being green and blue. I guess some other problems that I found with the deck, not so much problems, but I guess just opportunities. It is a limited deck. Is that if you can't get the 6/6s out, and you might not be able to tutor them, or they might die, you are extremely vulnerable just because you can't do the damage. You can, I guess, get in with a 5/5 or 7/7 fly if you can give one of your drakes +5/+5 into end of turn, which is nice. But you really want to try and give like the Drake +5/+5, and then swing in with one of the tramplers, and then you've got, what's that? Yeah, you've got 13 damage in the air, 6 of it being trampled. So that's probably the best way to go in terms of getting a win. But the deck definitely has a couple of different options of getting there, and I do like this deck a little bit more than the Bolus deck. The Bolus deck didn't really seem to make sense, like in terms of what it wanted to do. I got why they were trying to get players to play a certain way, but Bolus is very much a control finisher, and even in the Pro Tours and stuff, we're only seeing him as a one of. But we've got a Pro Tour coming up this weekend, so who knows? We might see more of Bolus, and maybe even we'll see Nissa, because we've just had her printed as the Steward of Elements. So who knows? What would I do? What would I change for this deck? So coming into the deck, I have 2 copies of Hour of Promise. So we spoke about that being a really solid ramp piece. Plus, if you have some deserts, we're going to create some tokens, which is a much needed blocker fodder for us. Going to run another copy of Bounty and the Luxor in the deck. It's a really solid card. It's not too expensive either. The card draw and the ramp is nothing to shake a finger at. We're going to put in 4 Naga Vitalists and 2 more Weaver of Currents. So we're going to increase the ramp package because we do really want to get just that full ramp suite available to us. I'm going to drop one of the lands from the deck as well, and we're going to put in 6 deserts. So going to give the deck a real hard shot. Really focus on the ramp game, definitely with the Naga Vitals and the Weaver of Currents being in there, plus Hour of Promise and the Bounty. The deserts make sense if we're going to run Hour of Promise, plus we can cycle them late if we do want to get some land. So I think that's the best way to do it, and I'll show you up on screen now what we're taking out of the deck. So a couple of creatures that, while still have value, probably aren't super necessary, and then I think this is probably a better way to run it all in all. So what we will do now is we'll crack the packs at the back of the booster or back of the deck and see if we can add a few of those pieces. Something like the Hour of Promise, or maybe even some of the deserts. So Desert of the Indomitable or Desert of the Mindful. Haven of Enduring Hope is going to be our first card. Not in our colours. Aerial Guide, that'd be a good card to have in the sideboard. Just remember as well, when you crack these boosters, even this Harry-Naga, you can add these things to your sideboard. Another unsummon certainly doesn't hurt. Not the desert we were looking for, unfortunately. Scrounger of Souls, pretty solid card. Some of these cards wouldn't be too bad for the Bolus deck, actually. Oh wow, speaking of the Bolus deck, Crypt of Eternals. Devotee of Strength, it's a pretty solid creature to be able to put into your deck. Certainly makes use of that mana. Swarm Intelligence, probably not going to cast that, although in a ramp deck we at least can get a little bit of value, a little bit more value out of it. Certainly double casting what's it called, Hour of Promise would be nice, being able to cast that twice, get a whole bunch of zombies, but probably a little too cute for this deck. Puncturing Blow, Proven Combatant, that could be alright. If you need another creature, same with Ronus's Stalwart. The Lurching Rot Beast, Monolith, certainly some decent ramp, but probably didn't really look to put any artifact Hedron, archive kind of ramp in. Cunning Survivor, plays off the discard. Traveler's Amulet's probably better for a 3-color deck. Gideon's Defeat, not going to be playing that. Chase's Defeat, hopefully no one's countering our Planeswalker. Inferno Jet, not in our colors, and Solemnity is the rare, so not a lot of value there, plus a Full Art Swamp. So hopefully, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that gives you an idea of, I guess, what you could be doing with the Nissa deck and with the Bolas deck from a week ago. And if you have grabbed these, hopefully these are some upgrade options that you consider. And I've seen a whole bunch of videos out on YouTube about upgrading these decks, and I love that people are taking them different ways. I think we've maybe don't have the best way, but I think we've certainly made some more competitive versions of the decks. And I guess that's the main thing. You've gotten yourself into Magic, you're starting to learn the game, and now you're ready to take it down to F&M and maybe not get completely wiped out by that Day 2 GP Pro playing Esper vehicles. So fingers crossed, if you have got yourself one of these, you've gotten some good cards, and maybe even pulled some of the upgrade cards out of the back of the packs. But thank you again for watching. A huge shout out to Wizards of the Coast and Double Jump for the product. Thank you so much once again. I really enjoyed doing these, and I look forward to see. I think the intro, the Planeswalker decks are getting better and better, and I look forward to see what the Ixalan ones are. So fingers crossed we get some good stuff for that as well. But once again, I've been Coops. This is the Whole Box and Dice. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and share it around if you've got someone new to Magic and you think they'd benefit from watching something like this. Peace, everyone.